Hello YouTube, it's me again, I'm Bloke, and I'm sorry to have to start the day with an ad hominem attack, but this morning I woke up to what I hope is the final reply from an absolute anal cyst of a human being who doesn't think that gay people should marry and think that it's a gay privilege. Now, I tend not to do very many videos on my personal views on this channel because I wanted to sort of keep it a gaming channel, but I just couldn't help myself because I'm so angry at this piece of shit. So I've taken screenshots of the conversation and I will go through the conversation and talk about interesting bits. My favourite bits were the bits talking about gay marriage and voting for gay marriage is like voting for Hitler, and I hate men. So yeah, get ready for this absolute piece of shit of a human. Just a word of warning, after I made this video, I realised that it's very long, very angry. I make a few threats, none of them are founded, none of them will be followed through. It's just pure anger. I'd recommend fast forwarding to the 20-minute mark to see me get really angry, but if you want to watch the whole thing, then be my guest. It is a very long video. Yeah, enjoy. So here is the whole conversation. Obviously I will cut it up and talk about individual bits. So first off, let's have a look at the very first thing I posted. So this was on a video about Ireland having a gay marriage referendum. I was the first person to comment, and I commented, "All I can hear from the No campaign is the argument in the southern states of America in the 1960s. Marriage is between a white man and a white woman, total inequality, and the No campaign is flawed as they seem to totally discount single mums in their equation. What's so wrong with equality? Nothing. I'm not LGBT, but they deserve every right as everyone else has." I think this is a legitimate argument. I think it's a legitimate argument, I put it, but you know, there's nothing bigoted in there. Everyone has the same right as everyone else. There should be no discrimination. So the next comment is a guy who only commented once, and he said, "Bigot, racist." I don't get how I'm a bigot for wanting everyone to have the same rights, and apparently I'm racist now, which is quite interesting. He then goes on to say, "What is equal to a man and a woman procreating?" That's kind of an invalid argument, because the argument isn't about procreation, it's about marriage. Marriage doesn't equal procreation. I know loads of people who have been married and don't procreate. I know loads of people who procreate and don't marry. There's no argument to be made there. He then goes on to say, "Femilitants," I'm assuming he meant feminists, "the gay mafia, race hustlers." Again, I have no fucking idea what he's on about. I kind of see the feminist argument because I joke, of course. There's no argument to be made here. There's no such thing as a gay mafia. All gay people want are the exact same rights as straight people, which is now what they're going to have in Ireland. It then goes on to say, "These liberal hate groups attack patriots for their creeping tyrannical government in exchange for special rights, not equal." I literally can't even describe how stupid this is. So he's claiming that people who are gay, who currently don't have the right to marry, wanting the right to marry, which is what everyone else has the right to, is a privilege. He also claims that liberal groups attack patriots for the creeping tyrannical government. I have no fucking idea what he's on about. He just sounds like a nut job. Some other geezer put in a new comment, "But why put a dick in a stinky butthole? Where is the fun? Have a friend, why marry? Single mums want to it's cut out for me, I was thinking. Single mums want to change men for forgetting that we don't change at all, because we like ourselves the way we are, so they are single. Again, I have no idea what he's talking about. So first of all, he's being homophobic by saying, why would you want to put a dick in a hole? Well, you've got to remember that most sodomy happens in straight marriages, so that's anal basically. And as Stephen Fry pointed out in his fantastic video where he globetrotted the world and discussed gay rights in other countries, most gay sex isn't actually to do with anal. It's fellatio and mutual masturbation and other things like that. So it doesn't have to be about anal. So I replied to that guy saying, so you're advocating for inequality, and you have no idea obviously what it means to be in a homosexual relationship. I'm going to use the white southerner as another example as why you're so bloody stupid. As you can tell, I'm getting angry because I think that everyone should be equal, and these people are just spitting in the face of people. I put, why would you screw a black woman when it is natural to screw a white woman, as an example. Educate yourself and watch the amazing Stephen Fry documentary on homosexuality around the world. You might actually learn that the LGBT community is actually exactly the same as you or I, and the homosexual relationship is about love and affection. It does not even need sexual intercourse. I think 20 years from now, people will laugh at the No campaign. I really do, and I really do stand by that. I think that in 20 years' time, when the world has become a more mature place and people realise that gay people are exactly the same as straight people, they just have a slightly different sexual orientation, that's going to be, amazing. And people will look back on people like the No campaign and people like this and go, wow, the human race was a big pile of shit back then, wasn't it? Yes, it was, future me. Yes, it was. That guy replied, I don't judge people, and gays are harmless anyhow, and I might be wrong in no vote after 2,000 years, but what does feel wrong mostly is, and what we don't understand we fear. I think what he's trying to say is people like him who vote no are voting no because they don't understand, which I kind of can see, because in my opinion all homophobia is not being able to understand what being gay is and not trusting it. This guy tinnitus flavus blah blah blah, he agrees with me, so no need to talk about that. So this is when the absolutely wonderful Sisyphus 40, I say absolutely wonderful with absolutely no sarcasm whatsoever, the piece of shit, who comes into the conversation. He says, he quotes me, all I can hear from the No campaign. Typical response from the yes side. There were great arguments made in this video. We all get in reply is intolerance from people like Radia Kalhaf. Once again, we see those in favour of same-sex marriage acting like a bunch of intolerant, close-minded bigots. Where is the respect for equality? Where is the respect for human rights? So first of all, he says that there were great arguments made in this video for the No campaign. I would personally disagree. All the No campaign seemed to say was, think of the children. He's talking about Radia Kalhaf. He, if I'm not mistaken, he was involved in a cake shop in Ireland that closed down because they refused to make a cake for a gay wedding. I'm in two minds of that. I don't think the cake shop should have closed down because they were homophobic, but at the same time, if there was that much of an outcry that they had to close down, doesn't that sort of prove the point that gay people have, there's a general feeling that gay people have the right to marry? He then goes on to say, once again, we see those in favour of same-sex marriage acting like a bunch of intolerant, closed-minded bigots. Well, how? On one side of the fence you're saying, no, you don't have the right to marry like I do, and on the other side of the fence we're saying everyone has the right to marry. There is literally no correlation between the two. He says, where is the respect for equality? Well, I just explained it. And where's the respect for human rights? Well, I've just explained it. In the very first bill of the human rights is all humans are created equal. So I'm advocating that yes, gay people are equal to straight people. He's saying no, they're not equal to straight people because they can't marry now. But we're going to say they're not going to marry. I reply by saying, are you saying that me saying everyone should be equal and that homosexual people have every right to marry is closed-minded? I'm sorry to have to resort to an ad hominem, but that is an idiotic statement that really proves my point that that the No campaign is full of intolerant idiots who want to have some form of high ground above another group of people. I laugh in your face at the blindness of your comments saying people who are in favour of same-sex marriage are bigots, as you are the bigot claiming that they should not have the right to marry someone they love, a right that everyone else has. And it's true, because the gay community is one of the very small community which in the majority of the world can't marry. If you go back to so many periods of history, there were the sects all across that couldn't marry. You know, you look at Ireland and Wales in the 14th and 15th century, where you had to ask permission from the king to marry and have children. And we look back at that and think, oh, it wasn't England horrible? Weren't we a bunch of horrible bigots who didn't want the Irish to, you know, marry, or the Welsh to marry? And now it's the same for gays around the world. You think that gay marriage is only legal in 20 countries and a couple of states in America? That's evil. Think of how many people are being discriminated against across the world, and we just let it happen. It honestly boggles my mind. Being gay is a death sentence in 7 countries. How can we let this happen? It honestly boggles my mind that people have this bizarre notion that gay people are just weird and different. They're not. They're just like me or you. There's nothing weird about them. So, to get back on topic, another guy then put, freedom is a gay right, but marriages, tax evasion, it's human nature, tradition, moral value, and a hard, tough son of a gun commitment. You're too open to be closed-minded. We all get that by now. So thank you, that bloke, for saying that. Yes, you know, and what he says is true. You know, getting married is about showing your affection and being committed to the person you want to marry, and there is nothing that's going to negatively affect the society we live in by allowing people who are gay the right to marry. It just, I think people are so stupid and ignorant when it comes to being gay, because at the end of the day, about 10%, roughly 10% of the population, 1 in 10, is gay. But we treat them so different and with such negative attributes. It just sickens me. It really sickens me. So then the man of the hour, Sisyphus40, replies to me again. He says, he takes my quotes again. Everyone should be equal. We all agree with this. Well, I'm glad we agree with this. So why can't gay people marry? 2, homosexual people have the right to marry. We all agree with this. Then why are you arguing against me? Why are you voting no? What is closed-minded is the failure of those to support same-sex marriage in acknowledging that same-sex marriage is in conflict with these 2 principles. I think he literally just went full retard. So everyone should be equal is in conflict with same-sex marriage, and homosexual people have the right to marry is in conflict with same-sex marriage. This guy, I think, had an aneurysm shortly after birth, and this is just him continuing to move and speak. All it is the reflex action of his entire body. He takes my quote again, but that is an idiotic statement. You're the one being irrational. You're the one being closed-minded, bigoted, dogmatic. So, again, I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. My worldview is that every single human being, no matter what colour, sex, size, matter, they are all 100% equal. You can be a Nigerian gay woman, and I think you have the exact same human rights as a straight male Asian. There is nothing which makes one superior and one inferior. Apparently, according to this gentleman here, that makes me bigoted and dogmatic. There is no correlation between the things he accuses me of and the things that I actually am. He then goes on to quote me again, people who are in favour of same-sex marriage are bigots. That was probably a typo of my behalf, and he said this video we have a supporter of same-sex marriage and we see he is intolerant, narrow-minded bigot. So the point he's making there is that there's a homosexual man in the video who's saying I have the right to marry my partner, and he argues his case. And as far as I'm concerned, he go ahead, argue your case. He talks about the inequalities, he talks about homophobia, and he talks about the fact that he loves his partner. And why does his brothers and sisters and his mum and dad have the right to marry because they're straight, but he doesn't because he's gay? I don't see that as being bigoted. As you are the bigot claiming that they should not have the right to marry someone they love. That was me again. No one believes this principle, not even you, so save me the empty rhetoric. If you can't clearly and coherently articulate the right to marry, then you can't very well make some sort of contribution to the discourse. This one really scratched my head because I started the discourse. I was the one who posted about, I think that gay, people who are gay have the right to marry. It's obvious that he doesn't think that gay people have the right to marry. The fact he's completely against it honestly boggles me. So the next bit was just me replying. How is same-sex marriage in conflict with the ideal of equality? Straight people can marry, so can homosexuals now in Ireland. How is gay marriage in conflict with the right of gay people to get married? You make no sense. Your stance is everyone is equal but gays can't marry. It's fascinating to me, claiming I'm a bigot for wanting freedom of anyone to marry anyone they want in the consent of the other half. Your argument is flawed in the fact that you say you say everyone agrees with everyone should be equal, but then turn around and say that gays can't marry, which is inequality. I think the simple fact Ireland now has gay marriage is a testimony to the people who do value true equality. In my opinion, you don't understand what equality is, you don't understand what homosexual love and affection is, because it's the same as being in love and being straight. At the end of the day, people want the right to express their love through marriage, which they now can. It scares me how in this modern age we live in, people can seriously still object to the right of everyone. And then Alex Pullum also said, you are not backing up any of your claims. In what way is the Yes campaign being an intolerant, narrow-minded bigot? Wanting two people which love each other to be able to have the right of everyone else is not bigotry. It's like saying that a black person wanting to sit on the same park bench as a white person is bigotry. He made an absolutely fantastic point. He doesn't back up any of his arguments, and I can't even respond properly because he's just so stupid. He changes his stance so often. Okay, so now this is the bit where I'm probably going to start shouting because he replied. How is same-sex marriage in conflict with the ideology of equality? Same-sex marriage is obviously discriminatory. How, may I ask? How is same-sex marriage discriminatory? At the moment, the system we have, or used to have in Ireland, is discriminatory, where gay people can't marry. Now they can. Everyone can marry. It provides for special rights and privileges for those who decide to participate in this state recognition without the state having any sort of valid reasoned state interest. This one I completely disagree with. First of all, it's not privilege, it's equality. It would be privilege if gay people had some sort of advantage over straight people when it came to marriage. They do not. They have the exact same as what we have. The thing he talks about the state. The whole marital system is run by the state. The state have every single decision that goes into marriage. They get money out of marriage. It costs money. You have to pay the government to get married. And anyway, I don't even think that that's what the main argument of the Yes campaign is. It's equality and the right for people to express love and affection. Anyway, I'm somewhat shocked that you cannot see how obvious this discrimination is. No, I think I am shocked that you spout this nonsense and are discriminatory so plainly. So I said, some people can marry, so can homosexuals now in Ireland. For the state to classify people with pejorative categories such as straight should be a clue that your policy is discriminatory. Apart from the fact that society as a whole or puts people in these categories of straight, gay, bi, LGBT, there is, you know, the fact that these groups exist means the government have to recognise them. It's like saying the American government, you know, how much of an outcry would there be if the American government didn't recognise Native Americans as a minority group? Anyway, you can't make your argument without making an appeal to orientation. So, everyone has a sexual orientation. Sexual orientations exist. That's how most people define themselves, with an orientation of sex. This is a self-contradictory if you are arguing for equality. Your argument must therefore be an appeal to some sort of accommodation that requires justification. Again, the question becomes why the bloody hell should I or the state take an interest in the private affairs of people in the same-sex relationships? Because they take interest and private affairs of straight relationships. They do. You can't get married without paying the government to get married. Without the government's, you know, registering with the government, without being a citizen, and all this junk. So you can't say that gay marriage is like going to avoid all this, because it's not. All it is that gay people can now marry the same as straight people. How is gay marriage in conflict with the right of gay people to get married? Same-sex marriage renders the provision of marriage as a human right incoherent. The very first thing in the Bill of Human Rights is every human is created equal. You're saying that gay people aren't equal. I don't get what you're saying. This means very specifically that same-sex marriage is cancelled out the human right of marriage for everyone. How? You literally just said it's the human right for marriage for everyone. What you're saying is it's the right for everyone to marry except gay people. You are a cockend. You make no sense. Yes, you do make no sense. Thanks for quoting me. Same-sex marriage arguments are incoherent, as we saw in this video. No, they weren't. They were perfectly valid. I will leave a link in the description to the video. Your stance is everyone is equal, but gays can't marry. Straw man. I support human rights of marriage. This is only those who oppose same-sex marriage who support this position. I think I'm going to cry with frustration that this idiot, your stance is everyone is equal, but gays can't marry, and he thinks that's the side of same-sex marriage. I might just go and shoot him. I don't know how I'm going to get a gun in UK, but this mother-loving titwank, I don't think he's sane. I really don't think he's sane. And then I put with consent of the other half. Oh, so now you're qualifying this to be, okay, I can play this game as well. You don't believe in this either. From the very beginning of marriage, in Ireland and in the UK and in the world, you have to have consent from both halves. So, what point are you trying to make? Are you trying to say that in gay marriage it's one guy going, right, you're going to marry me, and the other guy's going, I don't want to. The other guy goes, tough. That's not how it fucking works. I say your argument is flawed, which it fucking is, and he point out the flaw. I go ahead and do that. In fact, you say everyone agrees with everyone should be equal. Yes, my position is consistent with this principle, yours is not. How? I'm saying that gay people are equal to straight people, therefore they deserve the right to marry. You're saying that they don't deserve the right to marry. But you turn around and say that gays can't marry. Straw man, I oppose same-sex marriage. What's the difference? Gay marriage, same-sex marriage. It's exactly the same. There is nothing that makes it different. Nothing. You are a piece of scrotal waste. If you think this, you really are. I don't... Just fucking die. Seriously, fucking die. And then at the very bottom, I think the simple fact I announce gay marriage attests me to the people who value true equality. Yes, me, because it is true equality. This is a huge setback for those who truly value equality and, more importantly, respect for human rights, and it's a sad day. I am sure that those who voted for Mr. Hitler, who thought they were voting for equality as well. No. No, 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 no. You piece of dead rectum. First of all, my point is true. Gay marriage is true equality. Gays can marry, lesbians can marry, bisexuals can marry, straight people can marry, transgenders can marry. There you go. Everyone can marry. Equality. It's not privilege. Privilege would be gays get to marry for free. Gays get to marry as many people as they like and not have to sign any paperwork. That does not exist. How is voting for gay equality the same as voting for Hitler, who, in his manifesto, talks about Lebensraum, murder, expansion to the east, doesn't like Jews, and destroying other political parties? There is no correlation between voting for gay marriage and voting for Hitler. You, sir, just strawmanned. You fucking piece of brain hemorrhaged monkey penis. He then goes on to say, and quote me again, in my honest opinion, you don't understand what equality is. Look in the mirror, you don't understand equality. I'm not even gonna bother re-saying everything I've just said. All I'm gonna say is this guy's a fucking moron. And you don't know what homosexual love and affection is. None of my business. Yes, it's none of your business what goes on in a homosexual relationship. But you still don't understand what it means for a homosexual to be in love, because it's exactly the same as being straight in love. You feel the exact same emotions of attraction, of pride, of you know, all of the things that you feel when you're in love. And he comments on that. He says, you always use pejorative terms. I'm just gonna fucking explode with this guy and just continue. And I put, at the end of the day, people with want the right to express their love through marriage. No consent of the state. Well, bullshit. We've already discussed that the state runs marriage. It's the state that decides what's constitutionally marriage, and you have to pay the state to get married, and you have to sign paperwork to the state to get married. Therefore, it's an issue of the state. People also want the government to give them free money. There's no fucking correlation between gay marriage and money. And in giving free money. Same-sex marriage will enable serious, in fact dire consequences for everyone. Please, give me one example of a war, a famine, anything bad, an earthquake, a natural disaster, a man-made disaster that was caused because a gay man married a gay man, or a lesbian woman married a lesbian woman, or a bisexual man or woman married another bisexual man or woman. You will not find anything. You will just be looking for a fucking unicorn on a rainbow. It does not exist. I put, it scares me how in the modern age we can live, and people can seriously still object to the rights of everyone. You put, yes, we now agree on something. No, we don't agree on something, because I agree that everyone has the right to marry who they want consensually. You think that only straight people have the right to marry who they want consensually, and you think that gay people should just fucking get on with it. Why do you hate human rights? I don't hate human rights. Thank you very much. Every human has the right to live, to marry, to eat, to have shelter. What you're saying is every human has these rights, except gay people don't have the right to marry. Your argument has more holes in it than Swiss cheese which has been shot at with a minigun. It really fucking does. Why do you despise the half of humanity that is male? What the fuck? What the literal fuck? I'm male? What's this got to do with getting married? What does hating men got to do with hating men? I'm just... Oh my god! This literal scrotum screech of humanity. Oh my god. There is no correlation between hating men and letting gay people marry. There is no correlation. You'll be pleased to know that the very last comment makes a lot of sense and is truthful, because it's my comment replying, and I really don't want to communicate with this bloke anymore, because it's obvious that his position, he won't move from his position, and he's a total fucking cunt. I said you literally spout nonsense, which he fucking does. How does wanting gay people to have the same right to marry as me make me hate human rights? That literally is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because it is literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and I've heard some pretty dumb shit in my life. How will same-sex marriage bring dire consequences? In the countries that have already legalised gay marriage, which are 20 countries, and I'm really glad I live in one of those 20 countries, we have seen no collapse. No, have we seen collapse of their society? No. How is the fact that Ireland is more equal country now it has legalised gay marriage equal to voting Hitler? There is no fucking correlation. You make unfounded statements and fail to back them up. You do not show one instance of gay people getting married that has caused wars, famine, or anything negative. All it has done is brought the level playing field for both gay people and straight people. And I'd like to add that it also has brought a level playing field for happiness. Because getting married is a massive thing in someone's life, and people want to celebrate that. And now gay people have the wonderful opportunity to marry the person they truly love, which you want to deny them because you're just worse than every single. You're worse than Mao. You're worse than Pol Pot. Pol Pot killed 1/3 of the people in his own country. You're Pol Pot. I hope you like the fact you're Pol Pot, you cunt. I then go on to say, all the way through you seem to think gay people marry is a privilege. You do not obviously understand what a privilege is. A gay marriage privilege would only exist if a gay person had some form of advantage over everyone else. Not gay people have the same rights as everyone else, not more. So basically, yeah, I'm saying that gay people now have the exact same rights, not more rights. It would be, as I've said a million times already in this video, it would be only more rights if they could get married for free. Or something like that. That's more rights. In the past, they had less rights in Ireland. They weren't allowed to marry and have the same level of citizenship in being in a marriage as a straight person. Now they have that wonderful opportunity. I then go on to say, it is clear that you are a bigot, homophobic scum who would like to see us go back to the Dark Ages and burn people to death for being gay. You disgust me, sir. I am glad that I live in a country where gay people can marry and have the exact same rights as everyone else. I am glad I live in a town which has the biggest gay community in Europe. I am glad that now we have the freedom to choose to seal... Yeah, I'll say that again. I'm glad that they now have the freedom to choose to seal their bond of love and affection through marriage. I am glad for that in the future people will look upon you as people looked upon the white southerners of the 60s. I would say have a pleasant day, but frankly, your attitude towards the rights of others doesn't deserve it. And it's true. This guy is one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever had to deal with in my entire life. And I've dealt with some pretty big pieces of shit. I mean, I'm talking Titanic turd. You know. Luckily, I'm here to be the iceberg of toilet paper that cleans them up and sinks them to the fucking bottom. All of his arguments are unfounded and just all over the shop. He seems to think that not letting people, gay people marry breaks the human rights when it fucking doesn't. He seems to think that gay people don't deserve the rights that straight people have, which is just fucking wrong. I really hope that people see how stupid this guy is and condemn him, because he's a I'm trying to think of a new insult because I've used all my good ones. I hope he gets fellatioed by a lamprey eel. I hope that everything he does in life fails, because he's a piece of scum. He really is a piece of scum. He doesn't think that human beings like me or you, just because they have a slightly different sexual orientation to him, don't deserve the same rights as him. Try to get that around your head for a minute. Just sit there, even if you're on the no fence, and you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, this guy's a piece of shit, talking shit about no campaign. Oh my god. Just sit there for a minute. Put yourself in their shoes. Let's just say we live in an alternate reality where it's illegal for straight people to get married, but it's legal for gay people to get married. Just think how much you would hate the system for not letting you express love with the person you want to. Think about how frustrated you would be living in a world where you wouldn't be able to express the love you have for your partner and loyalty for your partner in marriage, and in the eyes of the law be different because of it. It honestly baffles me that this guy just has the functionality to get up in the morning and put clothes on. In fact, I bet that he doesn't. I bet he's sitting at home now, drool dripping from his lip, and he's just covered in like crumbs and crap, and he's naked. He's just sitting there. Oh my god, I hate gays so much. Or I really hate to ad hominem him, but he just winds me the fuck up because he's a stupid fucking cunt. He's a fucking cunt. A stupid fucking cunt. Everybody fuck off because he's a fucking cunt. And on that note, thanks for putting up with this over half an hour video of me just ranting. But at the end of the day, it was something that I needed to do because he's an absolute piece of cocking shit. I don't often do videos on my YouTube channel expressing my political ideologies or my religious views or anything like that. But for this one time, I needed to do it. Because this guy needs to step on a landmine and just make humanity a much more better place. I'm going to go make a cup of tea because I need to calm down. But thanks for watching again. I hope that you agree with me that this guy just doesn't deserve legs. And if you disagree with me and think that gay people don't deserve the same rights as straight people, then I'm sorry, but I have absolutely no time for you. I really don't. So don't forget to like and subscribe and all the rest of it. And this has been Bloke. And long live gay marriage. I hope that everyone who's gay that marries lives a long, happy and fruitful life.